Welcome, Pacers fans, to the Central Indiana Sports Report and our Pacers Report with Mike Rich. Mike Rich joins us on the phone somewhere on the front lines of some war that he's solving, I'm sure. And Mike, welcome back to the Central Indiana Sports Report. I know that you know, but I'm going to let everybody else know we're joined by John Robertson, because right after this we're going to do the NBA Finals report with John Robertson, and we're joined by Michelle Garmon, who's going to join us for both. And then Will Retherford and Cody Emerson are going to call in and do one or the other. So, here we go. Mike, welcome, and how you feeling about the Pacers?
I feel good. I think they needed an ass whipping, and they took it the other night. As you said, I'm on the front lines of what we call annual training, so don't have much access to watch the games or anything like that. But we had an opportunity to get somebody to go off base, and we bought a 43-inch TV and a sound bar, and we're ready for tomorrow night. So,
outstanding! You're going to get to watch it.
Hopefully I get to watch it as long as there's no disruptions, but we're using like hotspots and
any chance you're going to be able to join us after the Pacers win, Mike?
I'm going to do my best. Like I said, it's just really spotty with the internet that we have, and hopefully get to see the game. But if I get to see the game, I will definitely join you. And the only reason I can't chat is because I'm either listening to the game or, using my hotspot for something else. So,
all right. How you feeling about the series?
I think we're right where we need to be. I mean, I think they'll respond well. I mean, it's just like Cleveland. It's just like Milwaukee. It's just like the Knicks. These are all really good teams, and we're playing the best team in the NBA. I mean, 68 wins over the season. I mean, I think I looked back, they had only lost back-to-back once in the season.
Wow.
Which was pretty impressive. And the only series that they lost in the season was to the Mavericks. So just, this is a great team they're playing, but I think we'll adjust. I think, the energy is going to switch to, the Pacer fans, and they're going to be excited to have a finals game 3 there. And I think they're going to come out, again, with that chip on their shoulder. I think they really had their eyes open. This team's good, and they're going to have to make some adjustments. And, it's kind of the same thing. It's rebounding and defense.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I think we definitely wanted to be 1-1 coming back to Indianapolis. I think that everybody got greedy after the first game, thinking we were going to come out of there 2-0 and potentially sweep, and I think that was unrealistic expectations from the get-go. But I think a lot of what you said was accurate. Like, both of these teams have not had consecutive losses pretty much this entire 2025 calendar year.
Right.
So with that being the case, that benefits the Pacers, right? We got game 1, so if neither team loses back-to-back games, we come home with the trophy.
And I think that's, I think we were spoiled in the previous rounds where, we did take 2 in New York. And, again, Oklahoma City is a much better team than New York, and much more battle-tested. And we came in and we took one on their home court, so of course they were going to come out the way they did and play harder and make adjustments, and they did exactly what they needed to. But I think we walked away from Oklahoma exactly what we needed to do and come out of there 1-1 and have a chance in this series. And I still think we have a chance in this series. But again, I mean, we take game 3. I mean, like I said, Oklahoma City hasn't lost back-to-back games the last half of the season. I think the last time they did, it was in November.
Wow.
So, I mean, they are going to, come back, and if we beat them in game 3, they're going to come back harder in game 4. They want to take back home court advantage, and so we really will have to make some adjustments after game 3, even if we win.
We are now joined by Will Rutherford. This is a good time for me to tell you that Will Rutherford's 5 questions that need answers will be coming up soon, and we'll be talking a lot more Pacers. He's joining us for a few minutes here, and Will, we were talking about how we feel about where the Pacers stand. Michelle has not given her thoughts yet, so go ahead and give me your thoughts on where the Pacers stand, and then we'll go with Michelle.
I think they took care of business in OKC. They needed to get one. They got one. Game 2 was a little disappointing just kind of based on how they played, but it's far from a surprise without what you thought OKC was going to respond with as far as their game plan. So I think you've got to be really happy. It comes down to the Pacers just need to take care of business and defend home court, and if they're able to do that, they're going to be sitting in the driver's seat in this series. So I think that up to this point, you have to be content with what they've done and hopeful that it can continue in the future.
I wasn't disappointed they lost the other night. I was kind of disappointed more the way they played.
The effort.
The effort
wasn't there.
The effort wasn't there, and I think that's what disappointed me. Because I thought, like everybody else, we come home 1-1. That's a win for the Pacers. And so, I do think they're going to be energized. I was worried because the Pacers haven't looked the best in Game 3 this year, but neither have the Thunder. So I'm sitting there thinking, Gamebridge.
The Pacers have been up to every 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0.
Series,
So they haven't really had their backs
it's been
against.
a little different.
The one thing is, I think Game 3 is important for the whether they win or lose. It's important that they show more of that effort and dogfight, if nothing else, from the start to the finish.
Taking it to the Thunder rather than having it taken to them.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's like they come out and they punch and they come back. A game, make a big rally, get the knockout, and then they come back and they're on defense. They're just kind of waiting to see what the opponent's going to do.
That's all Halliburton. It all comes down to what he does.
And you can't, they're at the stage of the NBA play, the finals. You can't do that. The team that sits back and waits or tries to play defensive or not to lose. I guess in basketball, when you wait, it's kind of you're like playing not to lose. The team that comes out and establishes and really fights to play to win is going to have the edge. I do think it'll be interesting to see what Rick Carlisle does. Give Oklahoma City's coach credit. He stayed with the same lineup as Game 1, but he had a plan that when the Pacers went small, he went big. So it'll be interesting to see.
It was weird seeing an 80-win team adjust to the Pacers with their lineup rather than the other way around.
I know.
It's usually the other way around.
I know, and but it was good. So I think Carlisle. I think he'll have some kind of thing for that. Whether he'll change his rotations, maybe he sits Turner a little earlier. Maybe he'll bring in. I know it's different, and he may not. He may feel like he's got a flow, and he doesn't want to mess with his rotations. But I think it needs to happen a little bit. I do hate the fact that Jarris Walker, and I don't think did you guys see the video of him walking into Paycom Center the other night?
Yeah, he was on crutches.
It was on a crutch, and he barely. I mean, he was pretty.
Not going to be able to count on him.
No way, can't count on him, and because I think this is a game with his physicality that he could have gone in there for spot minutes and
although he might have been overwhelmed by a really good team as well, because we've seen that's the reason he hasn't played a lot of minutes this year is he's often overwhelmed by a team that adjusts to him and plays off his inexperience.
And I will say something else. The fact that the Pacers dominated the boards in Game 1 and then you get beat like you did almost by double digits on the boards in Game 2, that's not a good thing. I'm sure that's been a talking point with Rick Carlisle and his staff the past couple days.
All right, today's Central Indiana Scoreboard Show, the topic was something that Ryan Russillo brought up on Bill Simmons' podcast before the series began that I've been kind of talking about, and that is the longer a series goes, the more of a chance the Pacers have, because Halliburton and Carlisle together have proven that they can figure teams out, and by the end of the Knicks series, that fourth quarter, they were doing whatever they wanted whenever they wanted. They had solved it. The longer this goes, is that the kind of thing that we're looking at, Mike?
I kind of disagree. I don't think this is a team you want this to go longer with. Their depth is deep. To get their bench players scoring, I think Wiggins had 20 points the other night. I mean,
Their
he had
depth is
18,
insane.
and then Caruso had 20 points. I mean, I think their bench probably outscored our starters.
When you can outdo the Pacers' depth, that's
Yeah.
real depth.
They are. They're just deep. So I mean that does concern me, and to let it go long. I do think that they can figure some things out, and I think hopefully they figure them out a lot quicker. And then in Game 3 they're able to respond and do what they need. But I think Carlisle's smart enough as well to know that they're going to that Oklahoma will make adjustments for Game 4, and he has to be prepared for those adjustments and be just one step ahead of the game there.
But Will, you agree that Tyrese Halliburton being the best player in the series is the key, right?
It absolutely is. And it comes down to him being on the court. You know, he sat in Game 1. They were up 21-20 when they sat him down. He did not come back into the game until it was like 47-25, which is just far too long of a bench rest. He cannot, like, they can't do this thing where, like, they give rotation guys 20 minutes a game anymore. Like, Tyrese needs to be playing 40 to 42 to 43 minutes a game in a perfect scenario. He cannot be sitting this extended long period of time. And to me, that was the disappointment as far as Game 2 is just, you know, they weren't really ever in it. I guess if there's a game that you're going to give them some rest, I guess it's good that it happens then. But, like, they can't expect if he's going to only play 36 to 38 minutes, they're not winning the series. He's got to be the best player, and he's got to be on the floor as much, if not more, than any player on Oklahoma City.
John, it really seemed like they were happy winning Game 1, and Game 2 was
Yeah, I think the sense of urgency was not there. They got spoiled with. They had the momentum. It went the same way it went kind of in New York and in Cleveland. So it felt like they almost expected it to just happen for them. So I think coming back to Gainbridge, they're going to have a point to prove. They're going to want to come out hard. I think it's going to be interesting to see how Oklahoma City reacts to the Indiana crowd, because, like, on all the broadcasts you hear them say Oklahoma City is like one of the hardest places to play and all that. Gainbridge is loud. Gainbridge is going to be rocking. So I have a feeling obviously Oklahoma City's used to playing in it, but are they used to playing in it when it's against them?
Well, are they used
when the Pacers are good, it's no doubt a top 3 crowd in the NBA.
Right, but it's not just the crowd inside. I mean, you know, Oklahoma City, they're going to come in on a bus, and they're going to be Pacer fans just wanting to be hanging out and around the field house, and they'll head off to a bar. I mean, they're driving through. It's going to be different.
Well, they're having a watch party outside the arena. So
John, you're going to be there.
I'll be inside the arena tomorrow. I'm a little nervous about traffic with the watch party and the game going on, so we're probably going to get down there pretty early. But it's going to be an exciting adventure. I'm planning on it being like Indy 500 level traffic of bad.
Oh, yeah. I don't doubt.
Back to what Will was saying real quick about Halliburton. Like, we want him on the floor, but I don't want any Halliburton. I want aggressive Halliburton on the floor. I need to see him driving to the lane, getting the defense to collapse, and opening it up for other people too. Not just Halliburton running around looking to see if he wants to chuck up a logo 3. Like, I love Halliburton as much as anybody, but we need him to be aggressive.
We do. I thought he settled for logo 3s when he didn't have to the other night early. And, you know, he's one that he's at his best when he can get going, when he gets shots to drop early. It doesn't mean he has to score, in double figures in the first half. We've seen him do that. He doesn't have to be still great at the end, but he's better if he at least has some positive thing to his games. And he had like 2 or 3 turnovers in the first half, settling for logo 3s. He just was not Halliburton.
I kind of was saying that it felt like he was trying to play hero ball too early. Like, he's trying to get those big, win the game now or get caught up now moments before we really needed them. Like, play solid ball, and then if we need the hero ball at the end, great. But, like, if we don't need it, don't go to it right away.
Don't go to it. I agree 100%, John. I think he does. He needs to come out aggressive. He needs to drive the ball. I mean, they need to get Oklahoma in some type of foul trouble. I think the most fluid shot he had was from the side, and he was falling out of bounds. And I was like, but he just wasn't on. But it's got to start from jump. It's got to, he's got to be engaged in the game. I don't know how many points he had at half, but I was really surprised he ended up with 17 at the end of the game, because it just didn't seem like it was much of an offensive production for him or anyone else on the Pacer side.
Guys, I want to point out real fast something that I can't believe we haven't said on any of these podcasts up to this point. How much Oklahoma sucks. Why haven't we not brought up that yet? Because that state is just awful.
Oh, the state itself?
The entire state of Oklahoma.
I'm not going to say that. I have an aunt and uncle that live out there. He owns lots of farmland out there.
The musical's horrible.
They have a great military base.
Even you, Steve Largent, even you, everyone but Billy Sims. The entire state is horrible.
No, like I said,
I
my
can't
uncle.
agree.
Oh, guys, come on!
No,
we
I
need
can't.
to start something here.
Hey, Michelle, I have to disagree. If you're thinking of Fort Seal, Lawton, Oklahoma is one of the worst places in this country I've ever been.
Oklahoma is one of the worst places in this country.
It had a couple of hole-in-the-wall places I really liked.
Especially now that Toby
Yeah,
Keith
and those were blacklisted for the military to go to.
No. Anthony went to a couple of them with us. So,
guys, I need more Oklahoma hate on this podcast. Will help us out.
It's an absolute dump. Historically, this has been like the garbage of the United States for the most part. It's where you sent people to just kind of disappear. It strikes me as a place that just they don't know ball. They take a lot of casual ball knowers around the arena and stuff. They interview these fans, and the shit that comes out of their mouth is just blasphemy. They just don't understand. I think Oklahoma City is going to be intimidated by just the amount of basketball knowledge and the solid jump shots here in the state of Indiana. It's something they're not used to. I'm sure basketball's awful in the state of Oklahoma. It's beautiful here. I don't know why we give all this praise to these Oklahoma City fans like they're any different. Sure, their team's good.
There are 10 fan bases in the NBA who deserve a championship more than Oklahoma City's.
Absolutely.
That is for sure. The Pacers being number one.
The reason Oklahoma City got it and, moved from Seattle, let's face it, and this is why I said one of the reasons, too.
Are you about to say something good about Oklahoma City? You better not be.
But it's like Caitlin Clark is so big. Those states out there, they have no, other than Texas, they don't have professional basketball.
Got lots of cows.
And I think that, they do enjoy it. They do enjoy basketball.
They got Garth Brooks.
You could say, but I've got family that my uncle's wife is from Oklahoma. She
sure
enjoys
they
basketball.
Love it there. I'm sure they love it
there. He owns, like I said, her family owns ranch and farmland.
It makes Kansas look like a great state.
No, Kansas and Nebraska may be the
trying to get some Oklahoma.
Kansas and Nebraska may be worse, and that's probably why they don't have professional franchise.
Mike Rich, help me out.
Hey, I have. OKC, the city is fair, but not great. They do not deserve a NBA championship over the Indiana Pacers. There's just no way. And
Sacramento
like I said, Fort Lawton, I've spent my time at Lawton and Fort Seal, and I don't want to go back. If there's a school in Lawton, Oklahoma, I'm not going. I'll skip it and wait till it moves or go somewhere else.
Well, we haven't even talked about how bad Tulsa is yet.
Oh, I like Tulsa.
John Robertson, you're fired.
Hey, I've got, Tori Martin lives out there in Oklahoma now. She loves it.
Listen, Greg, I'm nothing if not honest. I have to be true to myself, so I can't sit here and say things I don't believe.
Go along with the bit.
I won't. I have to be honest.
It's too honest.
Hey, I will say this. There's a colleague of mine from Cherry Road Media, Charles Cheney. Now, he works... He's in charge of the sports in Butler County, Kansas, but he's a big Thunder fan. But he said Oklahoma City, how it'd be neat for these franchises, either one, to get their first NBA Finals. Of course, I believe the Pacers deserve it first because we've just been around. And he said, he goes, technically Oklahoma City has one because of
Seattle. No, they haven't.
Now, listen, let me finish this. He said, technically they have one because, and I said, I keep forgetting. I said, I know, but I always forget that they were used to be the Seattle Supersonics, and he said it's okay. He goes, because Oklahoma City, he said they don't acknowledge the Sonics
They don't
background.
claim it.
So, and
The
that's
NBA
fine.
wouldn't let them either. They said they're leaving all that in Seattle, which is exactly what they should have done, and that's exactly what should be mandated of teams to do when they move. The team colors, the record book, everything
agree with
stays
that.
in that city.
Yeah.
I think when you move cities and change names and all that, you should reset your records, and the other ones no longer are part of the franchise.
Of course, you know what? Baltimore probably loves it because Cleveland didn't really do anything when the Browns were there, and now when they moved to Baltimore.
That one's just a mess, but that's a whole other sport.
Yeah. Same with the Colts. Should not be the Colts. They should have decided on their own, gone their own direction. But that's 42 years in the past, and not worth rehashing on the Pacers report. Mike, you're going to join us for the NBA Finals report, right? That we're about to get to.